My name is Margaret Ellison, and I'm 73 years old. For 50 years, I shared my life with my husband, Thomas, a quiet man who drove a delivery truck for a living, but had a knack for numbers that I never fully appreciated until he was gone. 6 months ago, he passed away from a stroke while reading the newspaper in our modest kitchen. His last words to me were, "Maggie, don't forget to water the roses today." I thought I knew everything about him until the day my daughter, Clara, turned my world upside down. I was in the common room of the nursing home where Clara had placed me, surrounded by faded curtains and the smell of antiseptic, when my phone buzzed. It was Clara, my only child, her voice sharp and distant. "Mom, I'm going on a luxury cruise with my new boyfriend, Victor. I sold your house and the old furniture to cover it. I've deposited some money in your account for the nursing home fees. You'll be fine. Bye." The line went dead. 50 years of raising her, sacrificing for her, and she discarded me like an old receipt. But as I sat there clutching the phone, a strange calm washed over me. Clara didn't know everything, not yet. The nursing home wasn't my choice. After Thomas's death, Clara insisted I couldn't live alone in our 2-story house in the suburbs. "Mom, you're too frail," she said, her eyes avoiding mine. She arranged for me to move into Sunset Pines, a cheap facility with peeling wallpaper and overworked staff. She sold my home, the one Thomas and I had paid off over decades, and liquidated our savings, claiming it was for my care. I trusted her because she was my daughter. I thought her frequent visits and help with paperwork were signs of love. How wrong I was. The house was more than just a building. It was where Clara took her first steps, where Thomas and I danced in the living room to old jazz records, where we hosted her high school graduation party. The furniture she sold wasn't just wood and fabric. It was the oak dining table where Thomas carved our initials, the armchair where he read Clara bedtime stories, and the car, our old Chevy, still smelled of his aftershave. She sold it all without a second thought. But that day, as I sat in the nursing home, I remembered something Thomas had given me a week before he died. He handed me a small key and a sealed envelope, his eyes serious. "Maggie, keep this safe in your jewelry box. If anything happens to me, open it when you're ready, not before." Grief had clouded my mind, and I'd forgotten about it, tucked away in the chaos of funeral arrangements and Clara's sudden control over my life. But now it called to me. I asked one of the kinder nurses, Sarah, to take me to my old house, where Clara had stored a few of my belongings before selling it. The new owners let me retrieve my jewelry box from the attic, and there it was, the envelope and the key. I waited until I was back in my tiny room at Sunset Pines to open it. Inside was a letter in Thomas's careful handwriting and a bank document listing account numbers for offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands. My heart raced as I read. "My dearest Maggie, if you're reading this, I'm no longer with you. I never told you about the investments I made over the years, stocks, bonds, and some clever trades I learned from a friend at the depot. We're not just comfortable, my love. You're a multi-millionaire. The accounts are in your name, and the key opens a safety deposit box at First National Bank, Box 519. Use it wisely. I kept it secret to protect you and Clara from greed. I hope she loves you for you, not for this. Forever yours, Thomas." The document showed balances totaling $12 million across 3 accounts, plus details of a trust owning a commercial property downtown, a strip mall generating steady income. Clara had no idea. She thought she'd taken everything, leaving me with just enough to scrape by in Sunset Pines. But Thomas, my cautious, brilliant Thomas, had planned for this. The next day, I visited the bank with Sarah's help, pretending it was a routine errand. The safety deposit box held gold coins, stock certificates, and a second letter urging me to consult a lawyer named Daniel Harper, a friend of Thomas's. I called Daniel that afternoon. He confirmed everything: the accounts, the trust, the mall, all legally mine. Clara's sale of the house was fraudulent, as she'd used a forged power of attorney. We can reclaim it immediately, Mrs. Ellison, and press charges if you want. No charges. I want to handle this my way, discreetly. Clara's betrayal stung, but I saw an opportunity, not for revenge, but for a lesson. She thought she'd left me with nothing, but I'd let her believe that until she learned what truly mattered. Over the next few weeks, I played the part of the frail widow. I stayed in the nursing home, ate the bland meals, and let Clara think I was helpless. Meanwhile, Daniel worked quietly to reverse the house sale and transfer control of the accounts and trust to me. 3 months later, Clara called again. Her voice was shaky, not cold. "Mom, I'm back. The cruise. It was a scam. Victor took everything. My money, my jewelry, even my passport. I'm at the airport. I have nothing." I could hear her sobbing. Can I come to you?" "Of course, honey," I said, my voice soft. "Come to Sunset Pines." She arrived the next day looking like a shadow of the confident woman who'd left for her cruise. Her designer clothes were rumpled, her hair unwashed, her eyes red. She expected to find me broken, but I was ready to begin her education. "Mom, I'm so sorry," she said, sitting across from me in the common room. "I thought Victor loved me. I thought the cruise was our big break. I sold your things to fund it, and now I've lost everything too." "It's okay, Clara," I lied, patting her hand. "We'll figure it out." I let her move into a spare room at Sunset Pines, arranged through Daniel's connections. She took a job as a cleaner in the facility to pay her way, mopping floors and changing linens. I watched her struggle, her hands red from bleach, her pride shattered. She thought we were both destitute, 2 women abandoned by the world. But every night as she cried herself to sleep, I met with Daniel over the phone, tracking the recovery of my assets and planning the next step. Clara told me about Victor's betrayal. He'd convinced her to invest in a fake yacht charter business, using the money from my house and savings. When the scam collapsed, he fled with a younger woman, leaving Clara with $50,000 in credit card debt and legal threats from creditors. "Mom, I don't know how to fix this," she said one night, scrubbing dishes in the nursing home kitchen. "I ruined your life, too." "You made a mistake. We all do. But I wasn't ready to rescue her yet." Daniel had recovered the house, now legally mine again, and the offshore accounts were fully accessible. The strip mall was generating $20,000 a month in rent. I could have paid off Clara's debts in an instant, but she needed to learn what she'd lost. Not just money, but trust, family, and dignity. One evening, Clara found an old photo of Thomas in my room. "Dad would be so disappointed in me," she said, tears falling. He worked so hard for us, and I sold it all for nothing. He loved you, Clara. He always believed in you. She shook her head. I don't deserve it. I put you here in this awful place because I thought you were a burden. I was wrong, Mom. I was so wrong. That was the moment I've been waiting for. Genuine remorse, not just desperation. The next day, I asked Daniel to arrange a meeting. Tell Clara it's about her debts, I said. Don't mention me. We met at Daniel's office downtown. Clara was nervous, expecting more bad news. Daniel handed her a folder. Miss Ellison, we've investigated your financial situation. The debts incurred by Victor were based on fraudulent documents. You're not legally responsible. Clara's eyes widened. How? Who paid for this? Daniel glanced at me. I took a deep breath. Clara, there's something you need to know. Your father didn't just leave us a house. He left millions in offshore accounts and a commercial property. I've known since you called me from the airport. I'm not a poor widow. I'm wealthy. And so are you if you learn what really matters. She stared at the documents Daniel handed her, account statements, property deeds, the trust details. Her hands trembled. You knew? All this time, while I was cleaning floors, crying every night, you knew? Yes, I said. I let you struggle because you needed to understand the cost of your choices. You didn't just sell my house. You sold our history, our trust. I wanted you to learn what it means to lose everything and rebuild with your own hands. Clara cried, not out of self-pity, but from a deep realization. I abandoned you, Mom. I treated you like nothing, and you still saved me. I saved you by letting you save yourself, I said. The money was always there, but you needed to find your own strength first. Daniel explained that the house was back in my name, the debts were cleared, and the accounts were secure. Clara could walk away free, but I had one condition. You can stay at Sunset Pines and keep your job for now, I said. Not to punish you, but to remind you of the dignity in honest work. To my surprise, Clara nodded. I want to keep working, Mom, not because I have to, but because it's teaching me who I am. I don't want to be the woman who sold her mother's house anymore. Over the next few months, Clara transformed. She kept her cleaning job, enrolled in night classes for nonprofit management, and began volunteering at a shelter for elderly fraud victims. Together, we used part of the fortune to establish the Thomas Ellison Foundation, helping seniors recover from financial scams. Clara ran the program, her empathy forged in the crucible of her own mistakes. One evening, as we sat in our reclaimed house, Clara looked at me over dinner. Mom, I got a letter from Victor. He's in jail for fraud. He wants my forgiveness. And? I asked. I don't need to forgive him. He taught me what I don't want to be. You taught me what I do want to be. Someone who values family, who earns trust, who builds something real. I smiled, thinking of Thomas. Your father would be proud, Clara. We moved back into the house, but it wasn't just the house anymore. It was a home again, filled with new memories we were building together. The roses Thomas loved still bloomed in the garden, and every morning I watered them, feeling him with me. Justice hadn't come as punishment, but as a lesson, one that turned my daughter from a stranger back into my partner, my friend, my family. What did you think of my story? Where are you reading from? Let's connect in the comments. If you enjoyed this, consider supporting me with a super thanks to keep more stories like this coming. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Check out other heartfelt stories on my channel, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next tale. With love and respect.